Hey everybody, welcome to another pretty special video review. I've been waiting for this project for quite a long time, and it's basically finally to completion. So I'm giving you a super wide shot with the flash on of a complete painted Blood Rage board game from Cool Mini or Not. If you follow my channel, you'll notice that I've done a couple of little videos with the miniatures and ink sets for the board game and all that, but I love the miniatures for the board game, and I had a company in Europe, Romania to be specific, called Top Miniatures, to professionally paint all of the minis for me from this board game, and they did just a phenomenal job. I'll make a lot of smaller reviews because this is just way too much, of course, to go over in just one video, but it was a huge project. It took roughly anywhere from, I don't know when the conversation started or when they started doing it, but I think it was like maybe late October when they first got the products and everything, and as you can see, it's now late June, so a good 8 months, full 8 months to do it. And what can I say? I'm gonna kind of go in and just sort of scan through. I kind of arranged it the following way. So overall, there's just a ton of pieces. I think there's close to 100 individual miniatures in the entire set, not even including the little tiny, three-dimensional tokens and all of that, not including these guys here. So there's like 100 miniatures that was professionally painted up. And so they're divided by clans and by color. So each clan has a leader, and then they have 4 soldiers, 2 different types of soldiers. So a total of 8 miniatures. 4 of each kind, and then 2 shamans, a ship, and then 4 3D tokens to be used on the board, and then a token as well to kind of keep track of where you are on the points total. And so total, that's where each clan has that, and then there's a total of 6 clans: the Raven, the Wolf, the bear, and the serpent come out of the box ready for you to play. The ram clan is an expansion that you have to buy, and then the wild boar clan was a Kickstarter exclusive for those who supported the project very early on. So there's 6 clans total, each again with 12 pieces, including the ship, and then of course there are 4 tokens, as well as the I don't even know what you call this thing here. Again, it's like another player token, I guess, to keep track of things. In addition to that, back here are the 7 Gods of Asgard, which was an expansion set, including the very rare Healy, that was a Kickstarter exclusive. And then here are the big monsters. So the Ice Giant, the Fire Giant, the Sea Serpent, and the Troll are right out of the box. And then the Mystic Troll, Fenrir, and the Mountain Giant are again Kickstarter exclusives. So these are the big monsters in the back. And then in the front, we have the smaller monsters. So we have the Valkyrie, the Werewolf, who is a Kickstarter exclusive. So the Valkyrie and the Volar Witch, they come out of the box, but the Werewolf is a Kickstarter exclusive. And then here we have the Dwarf Chieftain, and the Dark Elf, and the Soldier from Hell. And then we have a duplicate Soldier of Hell, Dwarf Chieftain, and Dark Elf, which you buy with a 5th player expansion. So we have all of those guys. We have special modified bases for the monsters. And then finally, we have the 3-dimensional versions of the Saga token, the 1st player token, and the Doomsday token. And then finally, this is apart from Cool Mini or Not, this is an individually resin 3D printed three-dimensional versions of the glory. I'm sorry, this is the rage. That's the glory, and then this is like the horns, and then the tree of Gergersil, and then the flip side, which is the destroyed versions of the above over here. And I think this is the five points, so to speak. This is what you're trying to, I guess, use to win the game. I apologize, it's been a long time since I've played Blood Rage. I have to brush up on the rules. So this is actually separate and custom painted. And so when you look back over all of this, it's just a truly massive project. And I'll go over this in more detail, but just kind of looking, kind of in a very cursory manner, you can tell that they just did an incredible job. I'm over the moon with how great this looks. So as part of my overview, I just want to kind of to compliment Soren. Has a Romanian name. I don't want to butcher it. But Soren is kind of the leader, the CEO, the president of Top Miniatures. And I just want to give a shout out to him for his just amazing professionalism and communication throughout the process. Just always very, very accessible, very, very polite, answers questions, extremely helpful. So a top notch. He's the contact person through both email as well as FaceTime Messenger all the way throughout. And then of course, I like to give credit to the artist whenever I can. And one of the painters, her name is Mina, and she painted this entire project all by herself, no help. And she just did a spectacular, phenomenal job. Could not be more pleased with the quality of the paintwork. And we'll go over that, of course, in separate videos. Check out topminiatures.com to have a website. My project is up there in pictorial format. Hopefully the video does a little bit more to just kind of showcase how wonderful these things look. Video always trumps a photo most of the time, just in terms of showcasing detail, because it's real time. You can do it with flash and without flash. You can turn it around. You can see it dynamically. However, with your naked eye in person is always better even than video, So hopefully this just gives you some idea of how great the paint job is. It was a long road, took a long time, a lot of patience. I think this is, in my mind at least, it's got to be one of the best painted Blood Rage board game sets just out there. I think a project of this magnitude, I think there's a lot of people who obviously like to paint it themselves. And but when you're talking about a professional commission, where you're not talking about tabletop painting, but true, business, professional level painting, there's only a couple of complete sets of this magnitude. Because remember, I have everything painted, even very, very rare sets like the Wild Boar exclusive and the exclusive monsters back there. Of course, this is a custom 3D printed set version, the tokens, all of this completely painted. I think mine's got to be maybe the only one out there that's got every single thing painted like this, and definitely top quality. Top Miniatures prices, as a lot of these professional miniature painting companies do, by time and by detail. They go from level 4 all the way down to level 1. Even their level 1s are pretty good. All of my monsters are level 4s, which is the top of the notch, or top notch, top of the scale. All of my infantry are level 3. All the smaller figures and monsters are all level 3. And then, these guys and some of these 3D tokens, they're just like level 2s, because obviously there's not much to those. The ships as well, for instance, level 2s. but all of the true miniatures are all level 3s, and then the big monsters are level 4s as well. And to be honest with you, I really do think that once you sign the contract, I think they're giving you level 4s, even if you're paying for level 3. Just the amount of effort and the work they put in. These are artists who truly love what they do. You can tell they're putting in maximum effort for the project itself and the time that was taken. I can't imagine some of this having more detail, looking better than this for, again, the price paid. And their prices, by the way, are just very, very reasonable. I'm having a few specific ones painted by a top-notch miniature professional in the field who actually did the original masters for the company itself. Of course, and he charges a bit more just because of the premium and the detail. But this is magnificent. I mean, this is very close to the sort of work that we're talking about that the professional is doing in terms of the cool mini or not paint master. This is just absolutely, again, mind-blowing. This is the set I'm going to use to actually play with when I actually have people over to play the board game. And most people, of course, play with just the unpainted minis. When I do the reviews, I'll actually compare the unpainted versions with the painted version. You can see, and it's just like almost playing a completely different game. It'll be so epic playing it with a complete painted set, especially a painted set of this magnitude. Would just be amazing. So again, I'm looking forward to going through it, but Top Miniatures definitely did right by me, and this is just an example of the amazing work that they're capable of doing. I'm going to go with them again for the Kickstarter expansion number 2. There's a lot more monsters there. There's one more clan that they're putting together, and a whole bunch of monsters and larger gods of Asgard versions that you can put more detail on. So definitely going to go with them again, and with Mina again, to keep the integrity of the vision, of the artistic vision and the paint. So again, just giving you this overview of the Blood Rage board game miniature set. They even went ahead and putting magnets on all of these figures because I'm going to put them in these inserts, and he magnetized the inserts, so you can just basically plop them on using the magnets. There's magnetic paper in there so that everything is easily stored. So he went the extra mile for that, and he magnetized this so you can put the monsters on it without scratching the base. So he sort of dremeled it a little bit thinner, put the magnets in the right polarity. So just an incredible amount of labor, extra work to make things easier, make things better. And we'll go through all that little by little, but just over the moon to finally get this. This set just was delayed in New York Customs for 2 weeks, if you can believe it, where they did nothing with it, just sat there for 2 weeks. I was having a nervous breakdown waiting for this set. So I'm so happy to finally get it, set it up, and came in, packaged nice and safe and sound. So there you go. What more can I say? What more can I show you? Let's get into the detailed reviews segment by segment. But for sure, Top Miniatures, one of the best companies. And if you have a project, big or small, hopefully this will convince you to give them some business. They definitely deserve it. Overall, just amazing work. Amazing work. All right, excited to delve deeper into the set. And until next time, take care.